Okay, grade 7. We're on lesson 5. It says draw three-dimensional figures. So before we start this lesson, we need to know what are two-dimensional figures. Once you understand two-dimensional figures, then it will be easier for you to determine what is a three-dimensional figure. So the common two-dimensional shapes or two-dimensional figures. So another name for shapes is figures or drawing. Okay, so the common two-dimensional shapes which you've learned since kindergarten: square, this is how you draw it. It has 4 equal sides, it has 4 90-degree angles, and the dimensions are side and side. A square does not have length and width, it has side and side. Then you have a rectangle. It has 4 right angles. Opposite sides are congruent. The long side is called the length. The short side is called the width. Okay. And then you have a rhombus. All the sides are congruent. The opposite angles are also congruent. Okay. The angles in here cannot be 90 degrees. There can be any other number, but not 90 degrees. With the parallelogram, you have 4 angles. The opposite angles are congruent. The opposite sides are congruent. Okay. Even here, the angles cannot be 90 degrees. There can be any other number, but not 90 degrees. Then you have a kite, okay? It has 4 sides. These adjacent sides are congruent. That means if I write 5 here, I should write 5 here, okay? Then you have a trapezoid or a trapezium. They come in 2 ways, either this way or that one, okay? The opposite sides are parallel. So even here, the opposite sides are parallel. Okay, same thing here. Opposite sides are parallel. Okay. These ones, no. Here, yes. Opposite sides are parallel. The same thing here. Opposite sides are parallel. So when you're describing, make sure you're using good vocabulary, okay? So in the trapezium or trapezoid, the opposite sides are parallel. One of the lines that is parallel is called a base. So you label them, since there are 2 bases, base 1 and base 2, it doesn't matter. This can be base 1, this base 2, or this base 1, base 2, it doesn't matter. The height is the line that is perpendicular to the bases. So where the line makes the 90 degree with the base, that's the height. Same thing here. This is the height of the trapezoid. So this is base 1 and this is base 2. Then you have a triangle, okay? It has 3 sides. We learned triangles in the previous lesson. And the line that makes the perpendicular, or the line that is perpendicular and makes 90 degrees with the base, is what we're calling the height, okay? So another two-dimensional shape is a circle, okay? You have the radius from the center to the circumference. So the outside line is called the circumference. When you go around like this, that's called the circumference of the circle. The line that touches the line that touches the circumference and goes through the center and touches the other side of the circumference is called the diameter, okay? The line that starts from the center to the circumference is called the radius. Then you have a pentagon. It has 5 sides. And then you have a hexagon. It has 6 sides. Okay? So, you need to know these so that it will help you when you're drawing these 3-dimensional figures. Okay? So now let's discover what is a 3-dimensional figure. So, I have said here, a 3-dimensional figure is a solid figure or an object or a shape, but it has to be solid. It's not a liquid, it's not a gas. It has to be solid. That means you can touch it in your hand like this. Okay? It should have thickness. It is described by using 3 dimensions. Majority of the time we use length, width, and height to describe them. Okay? 3-dimensional shapes are made of faces, edges, and vertices. Okay, let me show you one. So we have said 3-dimensional shape have faces. So this container of tissue has 6 faces. It has the top face, the bottom face. It has this one on the front and this one at the back. And it has this on the left side and this face on the right side. So it has 6 faces. Okay? It has 8 edges. No, maybe more than 8. So 1 edge, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has 12 edges. Okay? How many vertices? Vertices are the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top and 4 at the bottom. 8 of them. So, you should know how to count the edges. The edges is where the 2 sides meet. So this is an edge, okay? The corner where all the faces meet, this corner here is what we're calling the vertex. Vertex, many is vertices, okay? Faces has to be a shape, has to be a 2-dimensional shape. Now, some of the common 3-dimensional shapes. So wait, I have said here, they are made by combining 3 or more 2-dimensional shapes. So, for you to make a 3-dimensional shape, you need to combine 3 or more of these. Put them together, glue them, tape them, and it makes a 3-dimensional shape, okay? So some examples are a cube or a cuboid, a sphere, a hemisphere, a rectangular prism, triangular prism, a cylinder, a cone, and a pyramid. There are many more, but these ones are the common ones. Please Google and see the images of how they look, okay? All right, so now let's go to your question. If you see this, it is a building, yes? It has this face, it has this face, that face, and the bottom face, okay? And a face here at the back. There is a back face over there. So this looks like a triangular prism. How do I know? Because I see a triangle over here. Please answer these questions on this page. All of them. Answer them, then we will review when I see you on Sunday. Okay? Now let's look at the examples. Let's read this. You can draw different views of the 3-dimensional figures. The most common views drawn are the top, side, and front. What you see in front of you, what you see when you look from the top. Like here, what do I see from the top? If this is my shape, if this is my 3D container, what shape is this I am seeing when I look from here, when I look standing up, okay? And then the side view. What do you see on the side? On the left side and on the right side, okay? Now, if I look at this shape, on top I see a triangle. On the side I see a rectangle. On this might be This might be, yes, this is a side. On the side, I see a rectangle. In the front, I see a square. So, you see? So it is asking me to describe. So draw what you see. Top, you draw your triangle the way you see it. Side, you draw your rectangle and your square. Okay? Now, I have a cone. This is a cone. When I stand, what will I see here? A circle. So that will be the top. What will I see on the side? A triangular shape. Even though it is curved, it looks like a triangle. Okay? What will I see on the side? Since it is curving like a triangle, I will still see a triangle. Now let's look at this one. On the front, I will see a square. On top, I will see a rectangle. On the side, I will see a rectangle. Okay? So the question asked me to draw. It didn't ask me to tell you. It asked me to draw. So you have to draw. So you will write top. You will write side. And you will write front. And then you will draw using your ruler how you see it. It is a rectangle. What do I see on the side? It is a rectangle that is vertical. What do I see on the front? A square. Make sure you're using a ruler when drawing. Me, I can't hold the phone and draw at the same time. And then just write square, rectangle, and rectangle. Okay? And you have to draw it the way you see it. You can't draw this to look like this and call it no. The way you see it is how you draw it. Okay? All right. There you go. So, you see this as a design, you have to draw it with the design. You can't just draw a rectangle and then say this is it. No. It has to look exactly how you will see it. On the side, you draw with that little white circle. In the front, you draw with all these little parts you have to show. Even the small base that is there, you have to draw it. Okay? So I want you to do B. Do the rest by yourself. You can do read and draw. And then when we come to class, we shall review guided practice. So do your guided practice and your independent practice. So we will start here on Sunday. We will review this before we go to Aleph. Okay? All right.